Hello， 大家好，今天我要给大家分享9个我的中国老婆最受不了的美国人习惯。第一，预制菜。我老婆开玩笑的和我说过，美国人是预制菜的鼻祖。We Americans really love our frozen and canned vegetables, soups, sauces, you name it. Even full-blown meals can just be taken out of the freezer and thrown into the oven. It's just super convenient and easy too. But my wife prefers fresh foods and vegetables, as she believes they are healthier and taste better too. She was shocked that we have so many frozen and canned options in America. I appreciate her focus though on trying to get the most nutrient foods without added preservatives or things like that. Plus, might I add, it really feels good to cook at home with fresh ingredients. It just takes time. It's a battle of convenience versus freshness. 第二，小费文化. This one honestly drives both of us a bit crazy at times. It used to be, 10 to 15%? Now it feels like everywhere you go, it starts at 18%. And the worst part is when you're just grabbing something quick and the screen flips around, it's gonna ask you a question about a tip. I think that tips should be given voluntarily when someone does an outstanding job providing a good service, not something just so mandatory even with bad or when no service is given. If you don't tip, some servers might even come chase after you. So actually, there was this one time my wife and her classmate went to a restaurant and split the bill. One of them didn't leave a tip, and the server came up to her classmate and asked, "Was there something wrong with my service? Why didn't you tip me?" Another time, when we were traveling to Las Vegas, we ate at a restaurant where they just added a 20% tip. And yes, added it directly to the total bill. That was pretty annoying. But the reason servers care so much about tips is that a lot of employers don't pay them enough. I had a friend in college who worked at this restaurant. He only made about $10-something for a whole night's work. And of course, the rest had to come from tips. But I've been to places where there are no servers, you have to go pick up your food and get your own drink and still expected to pay a crazy tip. Tips aren't expected for food only, but for other things like haircuts and so on. What are your thoughts about tips? Please drop a comment and let us know. 第三，怎么吃青菜? Yes, I eat raw carrots and lettuce as an American, which my wife can somewhat accept, but vegetables like cauliflower, mushrooms, and broccoli, we also eat them raw. And if we don't eat them raw, the way we cook vegetables is simply boiling them in some water or putting it into a microwave with little to no seasoning. Whether eaten raw or boiled, my wife absolutely despises it. She thinks it tastes quite terrible. And I don't disagree. This is something I've actually fallen in love with since my time here in China. The cooked vegetables here are just so good, the chao cai. Off the top of my head, I love eating the Hunan dry pot cauliflower, garlic broccoli, sour and spicy shredded potatoes. Even the stir-fried cabbage is incredibly yummy. 第四，洗衣服的规则. In China, there is a washing machine like this. There are two small sections at the top. One is to wash socks, and the other is to wash underwear. The big one is for washing other clothes. This is because underwear should not be washed together with clothes and socks because it is considered very unhygienic. Underwear is worn closest to the body, so it should be the cleanest if possible. Socks are, well, just dirty. Now, how I or most Americans do laundry, well, she would call it complete chaos. I would just throw everything into the washing machine. That includes socks, underwear, shirts, and towels, all in one. Easy and efficient, right? But my wife will get pretty pissed off. There was this one day I made a huge mistake. I put my shoes in the washing machine. She saw this, and let's just say she was not happy, like genuinely upset. So now I don't try doing that anymore. Shoes, they are washed by hand. Or there's even a washing machine like this in China specifically for washing shoes. Laundry has rules now. A lot of rules. But I honestly feel like I'm cleaner, you could say. 第五，喝自来水. This one completely shocked my wife when she first came to the US. To me, it's normal. You're thirsty, you go to the sink, grab a glass, fill it up, and done. But to her, that's basically like drinking questionable water. I remember when we were first dating, she would always keep drinking water in a purified pitcher. And in China, people almost always boil their water or drink hot water, although I personally still prefer cold or iced water. Even when we got a new fridge, she did not want us to use the water dispenser unless there was a water filter inside. I get it though. It makes sense and actually makes me feel more at ease knowing that I am drinking very clean water. 第六，什么时候洗澡？ So growing up in the US, I was always a morning shower type of person. You wake up, shower, feel fresh to start your day. But my wife, she's like, why would you go to bed dirty? And honestly, I mean, that is quite a fair point. I would definitely shower in the evening if I had like a big workout per se, or got really sweaty. But in China, it's much more common to just shower every night. So you're clean going to bed. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, I'll just deal with it in the morning. But over time, she kind of converted me. Now I usually shower at night too. And I gotta admit, going to bed clean, it actually feels really good. 第七，浪费食物。 Back in the US, I didn't really think twice about leaving a little bit of food on my plate. You know, maybe you're full or maybe they didn't taste too good. The story is quite different here in China. The first time I had a meal at my wife's house, I did something that got me scolded. In a loving way though. Yeah, I left some rice in my bowl, didn't think too much of it, but my wife's parents clearly noticed. They explained to me the reason is it's important to finish every piece of rice. Not finishing the food can be seen as disrespectful and of course wasteful, which I can 100% get behind and understand. But ever since that day, friends, I make sure that my plate is very clean, no food wasted. Honestly, it's an amazing feeling to be more aware of this. It's a good habit, and I want to continue improving moving forward. 第八，穿鞋进屋。 This is a pretty big deal in most Chinese households, but in the US, it's pretty common to just walk around your house with your shoes on. I used to walk in, sit on the couch, maybe even lay on the bed with my shoes on, and didn't think twice about it. In Chinese culture though, that is a hard no. Shoes are considered dirty, and bringing that into your home, especially into carpeted areas, sofas, or beds, it's basically unthinkable. Instead, in China, special slippers are used, only to be worn inside the home and not outside. It's common practice to have extras too for visitors. My wife's reasoning actually makes a lot of sense to me. Back in the day, we'd have a lot of friends come over and they would wear their shoes into our basement that has carpet. And she was worried that the carpet would get really dirty, especially since we had a baby crawling around at the time. 第九，喝冰水。 Americans, including myself, love ice water. It's just so refreshing, right? It's the norm. Going to a restaurant, ice water. At home, ice water. Even at the hospital, it's ice water. At first, this would absolutely drive my wife crazy. I remember one time she had really bad stomach cramps. It was during her period and she needed to take some medicine. Her American roommate, being super caring, brings her the medicine with, you guessed it, a large glass of ice water. Ice cubes and everything. She said she ended up not saying anything except for thank you and just chose to drink it anyway. Even when she gave birth at the hospital, the nurse handed her a giant cup of ice water, also gave her a slushie to eat as well. Meanwhile, in Chinese culture, cold drinks, especially during times like that, are believed to be bad for your body. Hot or warm water is the move. But for this one, she changed quite a bit and will drink cold things, and our kids absolutely love cold drinks too. Cold milk, ice cream during all seasons. I also think experiencing these cultural differences is very good because in a way you get to evolve and you get these new ideas. For example, my wife and I visited Korea and Japan. We noticed that they also drink iced drinks, like the USA. Originally, my wife and I thought that hot drinks were an Asian thing, but it turns out that some countries prefer warm water while others prefer cold, even in Asia. 最后，记得评论告诉我们你们的看法。下个视频再见哦，拜拜。